right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief sound check. Adjust a few things on my end. All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief sound check. Adjust on my end. Sounds good, Big Al. We should probably have. We usually have a smaller class tonight. Hopefully, it's the same. Send you an MP3 of the theme song. No. Nope. Let's see. We're starting out with a bang, just like we did last week. That music is still playing? Is that correct? Well, it shouldn't be. Oh, it was looping. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get started. Tonight's going to be a short class, 60 minutes. Typically, I just run a short class on Sundays. But let's get to it. Give me just a moment. And we'll take a look. Let's start on the daily. All right. So hold your questions. I mean, you could type them in the chat, but I have moderator. Moderator will be able to copy and paste and send it to me behind the scenes. If you do have your questions, the chat can get really quick as everyone starts to pile in here. But yeah, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, and as always, welcome to the Slow Markets, the Sunday night class. I will be on, as always, Monday morning for Fast Markets, TopstepTV tomorrow morning, and then again, TopstepTV on Tuesday morning. But if you take a look at the chat, there is our Topstep risk disclosure. Everything that I do talk about tonight is not financial advice. It is not a signals class, and yeah, how about this market going into tonight? We got news over the weekend. Well, is it news? I mean, I don't know. Everybody kind of knew what was going on, right? Everyone has been talking about it for a while. It seems like every night this week there has been conversation about Trump and the tariffs. And over the weekend, it kind of just became a reality. I mean, everyone's very dramatic. Everyone's overreacting. Maybe, right? That's the big question that we always have to ask ourselves is this one big overreaction? Is everyone being emotional? Like, we're humans and we have that tendency to have an emotional reaction. We panic sell, fear selling. And this is a daily chart in the NASDAQ. You kind of see it here, every single one of these sell-offs. I mean, just 3 days ago, just last week on last Sunday, right? Very similar. Last Sunday, we finished Friday. Friday was a red day, followed by Sunday night. Monday, the market sold off, right? So Friday into a sell-off. Friday into a sell-off. Well, I will say, is this as big of a sell-off as we got last week? Let's just go ahead and measure it. So last Sunday, last Sunday night, Monday's trading session, I mean, over 5%, right? Over 5%, $1,100 or 1,100 points, over 1,100 points. Well, here we are again. And I mean, this is half that, almost half of what we seen last Sunday. And is there more to come? Maybe, not sure. We never know. But essentially, we are right back down to these lows, right back down to this 21,000. And we bounced right off of it. It is Sunday night. And so you have to take everything with a grain of salt. I know Peter Tuchman, one of the big stars here on Topstep that comes in on Topstep Mondays and Fridays. Peter Tuchman, you should all know him. Kind of talked a little bit about it last week, saying, Is this really a sell-off? Is this really a change in market dynamic? I know I was watching social media. Everyone that I was talking to is like, is this just a buy the dip? Are we going to be having the same conversation that we did last week, this week, to where we had this sell-off and then the following week it was just buy and then we fill the gap? And so let's see. Nobody knows exactly how this market is going to react throughout the week, tomorrow, and going into tonight. But there is a nice gap here in the NASDAQ, and it's a bigger gap than last Sunday. So maybe that is something to be said. You could see from 570 to 200 basically was the gap, and the gap was quite big, almost 400 points, 360, 370 points. And so obviously this gap is a lot more dramatic than last Sunday's gap, but the sell-off and the continuation after the gap was more dramatic than what we're seeing tonight. And a lot of what I started to see is so much panic, just so much panic all the time. And same thing. And traders I started to see was bull market confirmed. Well, I could tell you what, or bear market confirmed. Bear market has not been confirmed. I will tell you that for a fact. We have not moved. I mean, look where we were at in November, and it's all about perspective. Now, I want to make sure that everyone understands that. It's all about perspective and the time frame that you're trading. But this is not a bear market. I want to make sure I get that straight, and I make sure everybody in the class understands. This is not a bear market. What we're seeing in the last day or two is not a bear market confirmed from an overall market standpoint. Yes, you could zoom in, and we're going to go ahead and zoom in a moment as we start to lower time frames. Then yeah, you know what, you could say it's a bear market on a 1 minute chart, or it's a bear market on a 5 minute chart or an hourly chart. But a bear market is typically not considered a bear market until you sell off about 20%, right? Everybody's going to have their own opinion in the way they view the markets, but I am saying that this is not a confirmed bear market until we get continuation, until we start to sell off from the highs at least 20%. And 20% is still quite a ways to go here in the NASDAQ. So from the all-time highs, 22,400s, down to about, 18,000, right? So you could always be preemptive, right? You could trade, you could look to short this market as we start to break down. If we start to break down, and maybe there's going to be something where these lows here in the NASDAQ, 20,700s, 20,800s is going to be tested. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be okay with the NASDAQ coming to test these 700s, 800s, 20,700, 20,800. And then if we do start to break any of this bullish structure, any of this bullish market structure, then I would start to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe we could start to see a bear market come into effect. But just Friday, you just got to realize, where were we at? We were up here trading at 21,900, almost 22,000, and we were just 2%, just over 2%, 2.25% from all-time highs. And in no way can you do you really go from 2% from all-time highs to where we are at now in just basically a day and tell yourself we're in a bear market. It just rubs me the wrong way when I see traders talking about we are now in a bear market, and traders are saying it's going straight down, the market's crashing, this, and this, and I'm just like, we're down less than 5%. right? It's not much. We seen what can happen. We seen what happened post-election, right? We had this huge rally. We had this huge rally in 3-4 days and all of this. So I'm not concerned and going to be following into the social media panic. Yeah, I mean, each time and time again, panic will never treat a trader in any term of positive, right? We're still bullish. You can see this market's going. This is a higher time frame perspective. Let me make sure that is still correct. This is a higher time frame perspective where the market's still strong, the market's still bullish, and every single time I see someone panic sell, they typically regret that the following week. I mean, very rarely does someone panic sell and they don't regret it. It's usually the case, right? Everyone who panic sold last Sunday was pretty upset with himself when we retraced that entire move, right? So, you know, everyone is in their right to say this time's different, right? That's the famous last words, is this time's different. It's okay to panic sell because we're selling off and we're going to continue. Now, very much you can say this, I don't know. I'm not one to say this market's going to continue to sell off, even though it might. You just never know. It's never paid for me. Off history high, nobody is saying we're in a bear market, we're in a volatile market. Flint, you should be surprised on how much conversation I've had with traders over the weekend that are in a panic. There's a lot of traders I've talked to and I've seen that are in a panic. And it's something that we all need to be aware of, is that we're going to be seeing this high volatility. If we take a look at an ATR, I talked about this last time. This is what I love. And this is what traders should love as well. Everybody here in the class should love this. This volatility is an absolute beautiful thing. This is what we live for as a trader. This is what we want. We want volatility. We love volatility because with volatility, and as the market moves a lot more day to day, it brings better opportunities. There's a lot more opportunities. The opportunities are bigger. It's nice as a day trader. We love this. Whether the market's going up, whether the market's going down, we love it, correct? Blockchain educator, I didn't finally use indicators. I've always talked about an ATR because an ATR helps gauge that volatility. So we've seen back at the end of July, beginning of August, huge spike in volatility. We almost got up to, 500 points on average in a day. That's big. That's really big. And that was a very sudden move, right? This is very big spike in volatility. And now what we're seeing, this is kind of a more steady climb, right? It's not this huge straight up and then, sell off in volatility or drop in volatility. This is a slowly increasing volatile market, and that is very interesting. This is very interesting. I can imagine along with this, Nick for a tick, he was on a little bit earlier, so big shout out to him. We could probably see the VIX continuing to go up. So for traders like me who love volatility, who love premium and the VIX and all this craziness happening to the market, I'm excited. I'm looking for buying opportunities, whether, coming down here to these lows are going to be buying opportunities, or maybe we could even get a further sell-off. I would be 100% okay with a further sell-off. I don't know how far we could go. I mean, some traders can see this and talk about tariffs and maybe say this is a fundamental change. I don't know. Traders and the markets do not like uncertainty, and there's a lot of uncertainty in these markets. It's obviously the one thing that rules all is price action. And as we start to zoom in, price action is the king of all indicators and is the truth of everything, correct? And last Friday and Sunday, we seen that. So can we see something similar tonight? And going into tomorrow, why not? Maybe we could come down and test 20,800, 20,700s. Zooming into the 1 hour chart, obviously, we seen what happened last week. We had this gap. This gap got filled very nicely. And we also had the gap here, right? So there was 2 gaps that they got filled. And here we are again. This is a very big one. Is this going to get filled? That's going to be the question of the week. Last week, it was the same thing. This week, it's the exact same thing once again. And maybe we see a similar case. I wouldn't be surprised where we see something like this. Why not? Why not? Why would we not see something similar like this? Can we see that here on the NASDAQ? Sure. We all know the saying, up like a staircase, right? Up like stairs, and then down like an elevator. How far down to go? I'm not sure. But I mean, if we come on Thursday night and we fill the gap between now and Thursday, it's just another one of those markets, just another one of those opportunities. Gap and go, easy strategy. Dakota talking about gaps getting filled again. Maybe we'll be talking about gaps getting filled for a while. I don't see a reason why not. We love volatility, right? Volatility over the weekend. You know what? I'm going to be talking to Hoag and MP tomorrow. Maybe MP is going to be joining us. Who is their friend? Maybe the chat knows. The friend that used to hold on one short NASDAQ or something. Does anybody know? I'm sure somebody in here knows. They always had one buddy on the floor of the exchange that would hold on to like 1 or 2 contracts short. That is the reason why. And I'm curious on what their opinion is. Rinse and repeat till it fails to work. Yep. This time's different. Famous last words. This time is different. $100K. Yep, this is what's left of my balance. I withdrew all down to 100, and I'm back up at 108, 109. I forgot to hide the balance tonight. That's okay. That's okay. Holding QQQ puts from Friday, Tashi. Well, that you're gonna wake up. Well, hopefully you can't close those puts out until the New York session open, correct? So, you know, if you're holding puts from Friday, you're a very happy person. We have value at 2,700s, 20,700s down here. Yeah. Let's get to some questions and we'll move on. There's not really too much to talk about tonight. I don't want to really talk about tariffs because that will start getting into my opinion, right? Tariffs, my opinion. I mean, my opinion, the market doesn't really care about my opinion. The value of the gap would make someone's week if they caught enough size. If somebody caught this gap fill, that could make someone's year if they have enough size. Not going to be talking options here tonight. No options tonight. Chad, I trade 5 minis. We'll go more in depth. Let's get to some questions and we'll get to other markets. We will get to other markets in just a second. Tariff talk brought the market down. It's been bringing the market down for a while now. Every time someone mentions tariffs, the market sells off and it recovers. Imagine being short coming into the weekend. Okay, let's get to some of these questions. Remember, it's a short night, and I want to make the most out of the hour that we do have. We only have 30 minutes left. Dakota, you used to work in supply chain. What are your thoughts on tariffs coming in that perspective? So I would give my thoughts. It just would take a long time, and my opinion honestly doesn't matter to these markets. I'm against tariffs because to me, tariffs will not exact. I mean, it's a step in what the new presidency wants to happen, but I don't think it will. I have a lot of opinions on tariffs. I've actually been talking. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. My opinion on tariffs as we go and we'll watch this market is my opinion is that a lot of people in the supply chain, they just pass it on to the consumer. Me, everybody here, and it's just like if I buy this shirt for $20 and it's made in China or Mexico or Canada, I'm now going to be paying 25% more. That's the only difference. I know for a fact. Now, this isn't even an opinion. This is a fact. A lot of the companies I worked with pass this stuff on to who they sell it to. So if they sold a $20 shirt, that $20 shirt became more expensive. They don't eat that. They will not eat that. Some companies will, they might be forced to eat it to stay competitive, but I know that for a fact because I've seen it firsthand. I worked with a lot of supply chains, manufacturers, and companies. And these aren't small companies. This is big companies. Like, here's an example. Carl's Jr. This is an example. I'm not under an NDA on this one. So I'm fine saying this because I'm not in an NDA anymore. But for Carl's Jr., did some work on the French fry carton, right? You go to fast food chain, you buy food, they give you your food and like a side of fries. And the fries is a cardboard, right? And they were fighting for 1/100th of a penny, right? So think of that. 1/100th of a penny, 0.001 even. So 1/1000th of a penny per like millions. If it changes by a half, right? Like a half a penny, or not a half a penny, a half of 100th of a penny, that goes directly to the bottom of, or to the price that they're giving it out at retail. So the cost of French fries, say it was $1.50. The cost of French fries now is $1.51, $1.52. That's just an example. Okay, I don't know these exact numbers, but that's an exact number. That's an example. Yeah, at scale, those decimals matter. Yeah, you'd be surprised on how much you kind of have to go back and forth and fight for, 1/1000th of a penny. You think it's a joke. It's like, yeah, there's a big difference between 0.001 and 0.002. It's 100% increase in the cost of goods in an idea. So overall, I think it would have a negative effect. And we are seeing that in the market. Yeah, every little tiny thing counts. And you obviously see this in the market. The market does not like tariffs. The market does not like the thought of tariffs. And the market is reacting. Now, the question is, how big of a reaction? How is it going to have an effect on the long run? And you just never know. We just never know. And a lot of this we might not know until years after, right? We might not know until years. And does it matter to me? No. Does this matter to everybody in the chat? Nah. No, it should not matter to us as day traders because we're day traders. We don't really care what happens on the fundamentals. We don't care what happens on that aspect. We just want to day trade. We're in and out of the same position within the same day. You could even argue it doesn't really matter to swing traders in and out of positions within a day or two within the same week because, news comes and goes, panic comes, people find opportunity, and all that fun stuff. It doesn't really freaking matter at the end of the day. So let's move on. Let's take a look at crude oil. Let's see if I could even find crude oil. Let's see, crude oil. Maybe it's not going to let me. What's going on? Let's see if I could find. Let's take a look at Nikkei then, since it's not letting me pull up crude oil. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Japanese market. Same thing, right? Japan. That's probably a bigger sell-off than the NASDAQ, is it? It's about the same. Lots of volatility, though. Lots of volatility. I'm not seeing anything on that either. I think the best thing to do, to be honest, is I might just wait until tomorrow. I might wait until tomorrow. Let this market settle down. Let the market participants overnight throughout the Asian market, maybe the New York session, not the New York session, London session, right? D's trading during the London session. And so let the London session digest everything that's going on. Let the start of the New York session digest some of what is going on, and then maybe start to look to place trades. That's my mindset, to be honest, everybody. Kind of wait till everything starts to settle down a little bit and then take advantage of it. Birdman, please talk about it. What do you mean talk about it? We can look at Bitcoin. Same coin, different day. Bitcoin. Well, good. Good. I like to see this. 13%? Oh, man. What is up with that one? I wonder how the crypto people are doing. You got to have some type of, you just got to get used to those movements. That's just insane. Time to buy? No, I've been telling everyone, and everybody knows, I will not be buying Bitcoin until we get either down here towards the lower 80,000s, somewhere in this zone, or, at minimum, maybe, it came close, 88,000, somewhere down here, one of these levels in this zone. I will personally buy Bitcoin if we can get down and test the 88,000 level and find some type of reversal. I've been saying that since basically November, and I've been also saying that this 100,000 level, we're going to be back and forth around the 100,000 for a very long time. I don't see this market breaking very directional. For a while, 100,000 is such a key and a psychological number for any type of market. But I think there is some opportunity to be had down here towards this 88,000 to, I mean, somewhere lower, maybe, I don't know. So somewhere lower. I just want to see lower. You can imagine everyone with stops, right? You can imagine bigger institutions, maybe bigger traders. Where would you have your stop at, right? If we take a look at the daily chart here in Bitcoin, where would somebody have their stops? Well, it would be reasonable that maybe there's some stops below this level, right? Yeah, I'm going to get liquidated if the market goes below 87. So that's why I want to see. I want to see a big liquidation event here in Bitcoin, then I'll buy. Maybe we could even get down to this, 79,000, 80,000, somewhere right there. That is what I want to see. Big time. Hyper Viper. This guy is going to lose a lot this week. Who is that? Who is this guy? You're going to lose a lot? Risk management, man. If you have risk management, then you won't lose a lot. Use a daily loss limit. I want people come in and comment without context. Let's take a look. I think that's all I'm seeing, really. Let's get to some questions and go from there. 19,000 this week. What market? I'm guessing NASDAQ. We'll go back to the NASDAQ. Nothing's really going on in the rest of these markets. We are starting to break through this level. What would you give your draft grade? KB, I don't know what you mean by that. My draft grade. Yeah, my team's been drafted. My team has been drafted. If you take a look at Topstep's Discord, you could see the draft. Now remember, if you missed out on the draft to get on my team, there's always going to be more opportunities. There's going to be another season. So understand that. Let's see. I'm going to see if I could find it and I could show everybody what that is. It's in the Topstep Discord. Let's see if I could find it. Where is it at? Andrew, if you have that link, can you post it in the chat? Find the link to the draft results. I'm trying to find it right now. Give me a second, everyone. I'll find it and post it here. Unless Andrew's probably a bit quicker than I am. Pinned comments, hang on a second. Is it the pinned comments? Where? It's in the TopstepTV pinned comments, I bet. Okay, here it is. Here it is. That is the 50. Let me make sure this is the correct one. Go through and read some of this. Make sure. I don't want it to be off, but there was an updated one though, Andrew. There was one duplicate. There was one duplicate that they had to go through and adjust. But let's see. Let's see if this is it. Make sure it's the right one. But yeah, in case everybody missed it, this is it. This was the draft results. I don't know. Can you guys see this one? Okay. 50. There's the 50. Where's Joe Black? Are you in here tonight? Let's see. I only recognize a few of the traders here. This is the Discord user's name. Discord user's name. David, what news brings the markets down? Tariffs. Next time, yeah, there is going to be a next time. So if you missed out, you will have another time. There's Joe Black. Coach Joe Black, Coach Jay and I was joking around about trying to trade, and I offered Coach Jay to trade you. He wouldn't take you unless I gave him some cash incentives. But I would rather have you than I think any of the others, to be honest. Because I know you're active. I want to see these traders be active because we're here to win. Joe Black. Yeah. So I don't know who the rest is. I've recognized a couple, but Joe Black, you're the one that I do know the most. This Top Steps VIP. I'm going to be starting it tomorrow. I'll start the conversation. If you guys do know, it's going to be in the Top Step Discord. I'll make an announcement starting Monday. Been a regular myself. You didn't get picked. Well, I mean, you have thousands and thousands of traders. I think there was over... Well, we have 143,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and I could only imagine how many traders put in for it. There's a lot. I don't have the exact number, but it's huge. But the thing is, there's many, many seasons, and if you did not get in this one, there's going to be another one, and then there's going to be another one. And there's going to continue to be more. So if you missed this one, the more you hang out, the more you stick around. I can't guarantee anything, but 500 traders every season is a lot. How do they put in for it? So if you join the TV show during the day, they give out a form that you fill out, and I believe they're going to be starting to do that. Look and start doing the scouting. They're calling it's called scouting, and yeah, so scouting has already started for the next season. You know what's even, yeah, I see someone mentioning in the chat. You know what's a even bigger news event than these tariffs? It's Luka Doncic going to LA for Anthony Davis. What is up with that? That was more dramatic than this tariff stuff. Joe and Ad. Coach, how do you train to hold a trade longer? Thanks. Joe's asking me, how would a trader prepare themselves, like train, in order to hold a trade longer? So for me, you trade smaller. You want to have a smaller size when you're trading. If you're used to trading 1 mini, you drop down to micros. Drop down to a smaller size. Trade micros. And then step 2, higher time frames, right? So if you're used to trading on a 1 minute time frame, you want to jump out to a 5 minute time frame. And you essentially multiplied the time that you're looking at by 5, right? Or even look at the hourly charts. Look at higher time frames so that way you could, see it from a bigger perspective, right? Zoom out, and then you'll be able to hold trades a lot longer. The biggest thing, just smaller. Time and time and time. Traders who trade smaller trade better. They have a better process, they have less emotion, and they have a much better outcome in terms of process. Trade smaller. Here we are. We're breaking down here in the NASDAQ again. Let's take a look at the 100 tick chart. I'm zoomed in, 100 tick. Are we going to see this market sell off again? We are down testing these lows. Oh, this could be a buy. I'm going to switch to a demo and buy this.
Order filled.
Let's see what we could do here. I'm going to do this on a demo account. I'm going to look for 1 ATR. Probably going to be about 10 or 15 points here. I like this level. I do like this level. Why is this a buy? Yeah, we could walk through this. You see this level acting as support? See this looking support and resistance, right? We never know what's going to happen with the market. This market could easily just continue to sell off and run through down to my stop loss. That's why I'm not going to trade this in my live account. This is purely simulated practice. See, practice account. My practice, anything I do is not eligible. I'm not get funded, right? I have a live account. I'm not going to be trading this market and this mess in a live account. But I want to see if this, if a long would play out here. This is just an emergency stop loss. It's practice account, everyone. It's a cheap trade. That's why. Did I give somebody a heart attack with order filled? Oh, yeah. You've probably heard it. Here, let me turn that off so you can't hear order filled. I'm traumatizing the chat with order filled. Oh, man. I'm gonna go ahead and add right here. Let's add. We'll add to this position. My Discord audio is coming on. It's just all my notifications is just deafening for everyone. Where'd that one guy go? He was here a second ago. I don't know what happened to him. Let's see. Let me look at it from a 5-minute time frame. Why is it a buy? Why is it a buy? Who thinks this market's going up or down? Let me know in the chat. Up or down, long or short right here. I want to see everyone's opinions. Everyone has opinions, right? I want to see them. Run a poll. It'll take me a minute. We could do a poll. Let's see it. I broke the market, changed my mind. Nick, you broke it. You passed it off to me. I should hurry and do the poll before. Oh, let's do this. Oh, come on. Where's all the chat? The chat likes to chat until. Yeah, that's why I'm a coach. This is why I'm a coach, everybody. Let me close off one right there in the 60s. All right. Well, that's why I'm a coach. I lose, though. I lose all the time. But, all right. Well, there's the poll because now the moves is already over. It looks like, yeah, how's that? Now I'll trail this last contract up to see if we could get up to these. Let's see if we can get more from this. We could easily sell off. I don't mind. We've locked in that profit. We locked in that profit. And look at this. This is what I'm referring to. Some very volatile moves. These are some very, very volatile moves. That right there, just 15 points, just straight back down. And you can probably see it on the 1 minute. It's hard to gauge because all of these moves, it's hard to tell how volatile this market really is only by looking at the candlesticks. It can be very hard to judge volatility. That's why I've been talking about an ATR lately. You could see volatility. This helps traders understand volatility a little bit more. From my experience, remember, I typically don't use indicators. I'm not using this as an indicator for my trading, but this helps me understand volatility. So this is very, very abnormal for what we're seeing and what we typically see for slow markets, right? We zoom out and we could take a look at this. Look how volatile this market is. 5 minutes. We're looking at New York session type volatility. This is the type of volatility that we get during the New York session. Yeah, New York session style volatility is insane. 30 points. 32 points every 5 minutes. Insane level of volatility tonight. So ATR helps gauge volatility. We were up at 75 points every 5 minutes. This is the most volatile we've seen this market for a while. Let's look at the hourly chart, actually. Like, look at that. Man. Highest, almost 100 points an hour, 125 points an hour. Last time we seen that was almost near August, right? August. We can take a look at the 4-hour chart and see it. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Yeah, look, August. Take a look at August. That big spike in volatility. And so now here's the question. Are we going to break through this like 200 point level for the 4-hour chart? So 200 point, this is an interesting one. Break through and see even more volatility would be interesting. Let's zoom back into the 1-hour chart. Yeah, let's see this market continue to get volatile. I love it. I love this volatility, everybody. Obviously, look at this trade. Locked in 700. Maybe we should take a screenshot now. Take those screenshots while we can. Okay, so Coach Dakota, why did I take this trade? How was this a trade setup? So, first of all, I do have to say this. In the YouTube chat, there is that Topstep risk disclosure. I want to make sure everybody knows and understands it's not a signals class. And so, everyone needs to trade and do their own thinking. We all have our own agency. Do not do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do type consideration and conversation. But why did I choose this level? Well, two things. If we take a look at the 5-minute chart, okay, take a look at the 5-minute chart. We had that massive sell-off, this Sunday gap open. We came down. We sold all the way down to 940s. Typically, this can be an overreaction. This is when panic is usually at its most, right? Sunday session, we open. Everybody from the weekend who wants to sell, they come into this market and they panic and they sell. And this is the most dramatic and the most fearful moment, is the open on a Sunday night, right? Ever since then, it's been buy market, right? It's been kind of consolidating, maybe a bearish flag consolidation. And if we take a look at this consolidation, you can see as I zoomed into the 1-minute or the 100 tick chart, so I zoomed in, and this is, I didn't take this in my live account because I'm not going to take any risk in my live account with a market like this, okay? And I kind of showed it, right? Resistance, support, support and resistance, support and resistance. We've seen it become support here. And what happened? There was a decent, we don't know nothing in terms of a guaranteed in this market. Like, is this market going to go up from this level? Maybe. Is this market going to go down from this level? Maybe. Nothing's guaranteed. But if I was going to put money at risk, for an example, it would make sense to do it at a level or at a zone which the market has reacted off of before, right? Resistance, support, support, resistance, support, resistance, major support here. Then logically, this could be a level where we bounce off again. There's been plenty of times where this market just sells off and goes through and hits my stop loss. But there's even more times where this market recovers or has some type of a bounce. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this position. Now I'm flat with good percentages. And now nothing's guaranteed, but there's understanding percentages. Profitability of profit, so POP, right? Probability of profit, POP. Probability of profit. What is the probability of, catching 15 points? Well, I would say it's above 50%. I'm going to be honest. I will say this. It's about 50% that we react off this level, because every time we've got there, look, reaction 1, not really that one, 2, 3, 4, about 5 times. Obviously, this is before we got there. Now, this is going a lot of in depth, right? So just think of it like this. Every single time we've gotten to this 21,040 level, we've reacted off of it. Besides maybe one time. There was only one time we didn't really react, and that was on its way up, right? This was the one time we didn't see much of a reaction. But other than that, 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times is pretty dang good. So, are we going to react now when we first get there? Ooh, I take that bet, right? I have to me, and the way I view this market is the probability of profit. So the probability that we react off this level, to me, is above 50%. Okay, you could say 50% in either direction, whatever you want, how you view the markets. I just say 50%. Now, what's the risk reward that I could get? Well, it depends. It depends on how you manage it, right? The risk reward can change, and the way that you manage the trade could definitely change. Where do you get in? Where's your stop loss? Where's your take profit? Do you get a good price? Do you wait for confirmation? Do you, put your stop loss below this pivot? Do you put your stop loss below this one? This is where so many, I could explain the support and resistance and where to get in to everybody, right? But how a trader manages the trade makes the most difference, right? Where, guess what? Where do we put our entry? Like, how do we get in? How do we get out? Where's our stop loss? Where's our take profit? How big of a position? How many contracts? How this. So many questions that's where it starts to make a difference between the consistent and the good traders. And then you could even argue gamblers or the traders that struggle or they don't have a process. And so you guys seen, I had like an extreme stop loss, right? Like extreme stop loss down here, like 50 points. Like, okay, I want to make sure I have a stop loss. Let's just make sure we have a stop loss. No matter what, okay? No matter what happens, I want to have a stop loss. I'm not going to be risk, especially in a market environment like this. If the market just sells off 100 points, even though I'm going to close it, I plan to close it out before it gets to this stop loss. Just make sure you have a stop loss. Like, regardless, is it a stop loss you're going to use? Maybe not. Just have one, right? But I was looking for this market to react. Maybe we get down a little bit lower and then ultimately be tempted to close it out for, 20 or 30 point loss. That's perfectly fine. And, we got 15 points. I don't know how many points that exactly was. That's his practice account. But that is an example, okay? It's purely an example, everybody. And I'm going to do it again, actually. I'm going to do it. Oh, it didn't even give me that buy. Buy limits can be tough. This is the same thing. I'm going to have my stop right here. I'm going to look for a 1-to-1 risk reward. 1-to-1 risk reward right here. Let's see if I could get it. I'm going to get in one. Okay, let's make sure I have my stop loss. So 31 points. That would mean I need to get like 31. But can I? This is actually a little bit of an upside down trade, to be honest, because I think we could get to maybe here. I think we could get to 82s. So I'm gonna scale into this again. This is a little bit of an upside down risk reward. Give me a better price. I'll get into 4. I'll get into 4 if we come back down to these 50s. Maybe it's not going to give me that. Backley, that is a gambling example. Explain. Is it gambling if it's consistent and if it has a positive expectancy? What are you referring to? Tell me, please. Give more context. It's still more room to the downside, maybe a little early for the upside. Kevin Gators, yeah, you just never know, right? There's definitely always more room to the downside. And there's also more room to the upside too. But the momentum is down. This is purely, I'm just giving examples here. That's why it's in a practice account. Everything in life is a gamble. Yeah. I was going to say the only thing that's guaranteed is what do they say? Death and taxes. Nick for a tick. Couldn't make a new low, playing for a break higher. What are you referring to, Nick? Are you looking for it to return back up here? Are you looking for the market to return back up into this? Soon, no taxes. Tariffs. Tariffs. Randy H. Oh, you're just referring about my entry. Yeah, I don't like this one as much as I did at my entry. But I'm going to add to it. Because this is just an example. This is why you're here, you guess? That's why we're here? Look at that. This thing might smash through these now. Oh, spike in volatility. Here we go. You can gamble in taxes. You just might not like the outcome. Yeah, that is a fair point. The Lakers trading, Sunny Dude. Every team trades. Every sports team makes trades. Every sports team tries to trade for different players to become better based off of their opinions as well, right? Same with anything else. I'm very happy with my Lakers right now. I'm very, very happy with what my Lakers they were able to pick up Luka Doncic, and I'm happy about that. I don't mind. I need to stop reading the chat, everybody. I totally need to stop reading the chat. Let's get to some good questions before I end. We're at the end of class. It's already been an hour. An hour's went really fast, so I'm going to go ahead and close off this one. This class is now basically over, but yeah, I don't mind the questions. The chat is always funny. You know what? I don't want to end it on a loss. Let me just get into green, and then to make sure the screenshots are looking good for the night. Let me just get this into a green, and yeah, then we don't have to worry about any of the negative screenshots, right? Let's just get this baby into the green, just like that. Come on. Actually, what do we need? 150 or something? Let's get, there we go, for everybody who's taking screenshots. What times are you scheduled to be live? All right, let's do a quick summary. Everybody, quick summary before I end class tonight. Tomorrow morning is fast markets. I will be on for fast markets tomorrow morning and then the following day. And then, of course, slow markets as always throughout the week. That's basically it. Now, remember, Pop Squad, the Topstep VIP, the teams were drafted last week. 500, we have 10 teams, 50 traders per team. Mine was drafted. I showed that here. If you've missed it, tune in to the Top Steps Discord or Twitter, Twix for Top Steps Twitter accounts, posting all those updates. Top Steps going to be doing the, what do we call it? The scouting for the next one. I don't know the details yet. If you tune in to Top Steps day show, TopstepTV during the day, you'll get all the details there. That's probably the best place to be tuned into. You get all the information first. And of course, we love it when MP comes on and kind of gives us a lot more in-depth in all the details. So if you miss anything, just tune in to TopstepTV. You'll find out there. Chat's always good at reminding others as well. So other than that, take care, everybody. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. If not, tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.